Hello. Welcome back to the show. It's Shane Carter here. Today is Monday. It's a bank holiday Monday, and I'm here today for the next, say, 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes. And we're just going to waffle on here about sports, about what's happened during the weekend, anything that caught me attention, and just stuff that I want to talk about generally. So, welcome to the show. If you didn't watch last week's episode, it should be just underneath this one. Click on that, give that a listen, and that will basically run down what the show is, what I plan on doing. Basically, if you don't want to do that, I'll just summarise it now. This show is a talk show. Basically, it'll just be me sitting here in my kitchen like a psychopath. So yeah, I'm sitting here by myself. Nothing's going on anyway, just sitting here chilling. I'm off work today. I do work. I said that's why it's very hard to kind of fit this in with work and college and everything, but has to be done, I suppose. I work away just in town. Just getting a few bob up for myself, and I'm in college as well. I'm studying journalism and radio. Radio is kind of what I want to do though, so this is kind of a start. The podcasting is kind of what I wanted to do now, just to get a kind of experience talking to an audience. Hopefully I get an audience. I'm not getting ahead of myself. I know there was like 10 listeners on the last clip, which was great. I'm happy enough with that. I'd say 4 was me. But other than that, like I'm delighted with the 10. Like that's brilliant. It's something, isn't it? Like it's something to start off with. I'll be very disappointed if we get lower than 10 this episode, but what can I do? So yeah, this is the Shane Carter show. Basically, what I will do is we'll be just talking about sports, news, anything that caught my attention, as I said at the start. So something happens 5 minutes before I record this, I will talk about it. Likewise, if something happened yesterday, the day before, I will talk about it still, even if it's big news. So yeah, that's basically the show, just me waffling on about crap. The Shane Carter show, I couldn't really think of another name, and I'm an egotistical fucker, so yeah, that's just the way it is. The Shane Carter show, welcome, thank you for listening if you're still listening. So let's kick off anyway. What I wanted to talk about today, the main thing I wanted to talk about was the main sports thing that happened, and if you didn't watch it on the Saturday, fair play to you were smart. That was the Floyd Mayweather Manny Pacquiao fight. I had been looking forward to this fight for, I'd say, about 3 or 4 years now. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a big boxing fan. I'm not that into boxing. Like, I'd watch big fights like this fight, but I wouldn't sit there and I wouldn't study fighters and I wouldn't watch all their fights. I'd watch the big fights. I'm a boxing fan. So anyway, this fight came along, it was announced. I was like, happy days, this is absolutely brilliant. This is exactly what boxing needs right now. We need this big super fight to happen, and it needs to be huge. And it needs to bring in so many numbers, which it did. I think they both got 100 million for the fight. I think there was some tickets selling them on the black market for $300,000 for a ringside seat. 300,000 just to be sitting right beside the fight. And let me tell you, if I paid $300,000 for a ticket for this fight, I'd be going back to your man in the alley and the man in the refund, even though I'd probably get stabbed. But that's what I'd be doing. I'd be going back and I'd be like, listen, take me. And he'd probably understand. Like, he probably would give me my money back. This fight was just dreadful. Like, I can't even explain how disappointed I was when I finished watching this. I was watching it online, watching it on the stream, and the stream cut off 2 rounds before the end. Now, I had been looking forward to this fight, as I said, for years. I'd been looking forward to it, and it finally came around. It cut off 2 rounds towards the end, and I was like, fuck this, I'm going to bed. I wasn't arsed watching the two remaining rounds, because I knew which way the fight was going to go. Floyd Mayweather had it won from the beginning of the fight. He came out, he took his points. This is what people were expecting. They were expecting a blow for blow fight with lots of action throughout. I knew to a degree that we weren't going to get that. I knew that we weren't going to get this all action scrap. Floyd Mayweather is just, I'll go into him now in a few minutes. This is what I want to talk about this episode. Just this. Floyd Mayweather is an animal. Now, he's not an animal that he will go into the ring and he will blow for blow destroy you. He won't. He's silky smooth. He's like water. You can't touch him. The man is just, 1 minute he's here, the next minute he's there. And Manny Pacquiao found that out on Saturday night. He found out that Floyd Mayweather can't be touched. There is no person, I believe, out there that can defeat Floyd Mayweather right now. He is too good. He's just, as I said before, he's silky smooth. Now, Manny Pacquiao is an 8-time division world champion. If I'm wrong, slate me on that, right? As I said, I'm not a big fan. I watch from the outside. That's all I do. I watch the matches. I watch the fights. Big fights, that's where I kind of stop. But Floyd Mayweather is just wow. Like, people call him boring, but that's stupid. It's a tactic. His tactic is defense. That's his main style, defensive. He is the best defensive fighter ever. No one has ever come close to having as good of a defense as he has. This lad can, like Manny Pacquiao, as I said, he's an 8-time division world champion. He couldn't touch Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather made Manny Pacquiao look average. He couldn't touch him. He couldn't lay a hand on him. Pacquiao would go in for a punch, and then Floyd Mayweather would be gone. He'd be on the other side of the ring. And in fairness to Mayweather, he stayed in the centre of the ring most of the fight. He kept him away from the ropes. Now, don't get me wrong, he was on the ropes 1 or 2 times, but Pacquiao just couldn't do anything to him. He was hitting arms and elbows. That's what he was hitting. And Floyd Mayweather was just taking it. And then he was gone, and he continued on. He just get his points. And Manny Pacquiao at the end of the fight said, "Oh, I thought I won." The reason why he thought he won is because he had punched so many times that he thought most of those punches had landed, even though they hadn't. I'd say only about, I think it was like 17% of his total punches actually landed, actually like hit Mayweather and actually got him a point. Mayweather, when he punches, he makes sure he hits you and he makes sure he gets a point. Mayweather, in my opinion, is the second greatest fighter of all time, behind Muhammad Ali. He is just an absolute beast. Although you don't see it in how he fights. He wouldn't have a big highlight reel, if you know what I mean. Like, he wouldn't have a knockout highlight reel. He gets his points and he wins fights. That's what he does. He wins. Simple as. And no one alive at the moment can beat him. There's no one. People are saying Amir Khan. Amir Khan will get absolutely destroyed. He'll step in that ring and he will hit the canvas within about 30 seconds. Because he'll go in with a big swinging hook, and Mayweather will just like counter him and knock him down. Amir Khan is no match for Floyd Mayweather. No one is a match for Floyd Mayweather. He is the best fighter of our generation, and he's the second best fighter in all time. That is my opinion, and I'll stick by that. Back to the fight on Saturday. Oh, Shane, you've said all this. Like, obviously you thought the fight was good. No, the fight was terrible. It was the most boring fight I've ever seen in my life. Manny Pacquiao just, like, he came out. Don't get me wrong, he came out and like he gave it all, but he couldn't touch Floyd Mayweather, and I was expecting more from Manny Pacquiao. That's why it was so boring. I was expecting more from him. You know, I thought he was going to be a lot better than he was. But Floyd Mayweather is just, he is out of this world. He can't be touched by anyone. I thought Manny Pacquiao was the one to beat him. Like, Manny Pacquiao's no pushover. He came into that fight, as I said, 100%, but he just didn't have enough. And that's why I was so disappointed with the fight, because I thought Manny Pacquiao would have been better. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I finished this fight, I was extremely, as I said loads of times, I was extremely disappointed. But as I kind of think about it, that's the way Floyd Mayweather fights have gone. They haven't been spectacles. They haven't been big blow for blow fights. They've been Mayweather dominating the ring, and he dominated that match from the round 1 to round 12. He dominated, and I don't care what you say if Pacquiao should have got more points from the judges, this and that. No, Mayweather completely dominated that fight. Mayweather is the second best fighter, as I said, I've ever seen in my life. Ever. That's every boxer. Because, right, offensively, he's not as good as Muhammad Ali was, but defensively, he's just an animal. You can't touch the lad. He's like water. But overall, I thought the fight was going to be better. Don't get me wrong, obviously, Mayweather did very well to win. A lot of criticism that he was hugging. He did a lot of hugging in the ring, I have to say. A lot of clutching. But that's just the way he fights. And, like, say what you will, 48-0 is a record that we probably won't see again for another 20, 30 years, you know? I think Rocky Marciano is on 49 at the moment. I struggle to see Mayweather, like, not going for the 50. I think he will go all the way. I think he will go for the 50 fights, and I think he will want to break Marciano's record and set his own at the same time. So I think he will go for the 50. That's 2 fights. So I'd say, yeah, he's got 2 fights left in him. He still looks as fresh as ever. And that's another thing. So many fighters look just horrendous at 38. They look like they've been hit by 70 shovels. They look like they've been smacked by a few buses. Mayweather has kept his smile. He's kept his fresh face. He's kept everything. Because of the way he fights, he can't be touched. If you want to know how good Mayweather is, look at his face. His nose has, I'd say it was broken once. He still has everything intact. Boxers at that age would be messed up, mushed up. He's unreal. He's unbelievable. Like, people are saying, like, oh, he's boring. He's not boring. That's the way he fights. That's why he's always fought. It's a privilege to watch him break out of those punches and break out of tough situations. It's a privilege to watch him duck and dive out of punches. He's a brilliant fighter. He's one of the best, second best, and I don't see anyone else beating him. I really don't. Another thing I wanted to address was the booing he picked up. That's what I hated about that fight. I hate the bandwagon boxing fans, the celebrities, the musicians, the people that just got tickets because they have money. I hate that. I hate the fact that Mayweather was booed out of the ring, and I hate the fact that he was booed into the ring. I hate that he was booed every time he clutched with Pacquiao, although it was boring. Now, take it that people wanted to see a blow-for-blow fight, but if you watch Mayweather, you will know that's not what you're going to get. Okay, fair enough. Manny Pacquiao, different fighter. He's going to come out and he's going to give Mayweather a run for his money. Okay, you think that? Fair enough. Right, there was no reason to boo the man out of the ring. There's no reason at all. He's gone 48-0. He's defeated every fighter he's fought easily. Okay, 1 or 2 fights may have been contested. They could have gone either way. But he's won all his fights. 48-0. That's a record that just can't be questioned. And for him to get booed out of the ring is just... It just shows no respect for boxing. It shows no respect for him. And it makes the thing an overall just disappointment. If I wasn't really a boxing fan, I'd just watch that fight and I'd see the biggest fight of the century as it was marketed to be. And people are booing it. I'd be like, this is shy. This guy's a champion. People are booing him. Don't boo the champion that has gone 48-0. Right, okay, you don't like his out of ring antics. Neither do I. I think he's a wife-beating scumbag. But that's a whole different story. I'm just judging the man on his boxing credentials. I am not talking about his personal life, what he does with his money. In my opinion, he's an absolute scumbag for punching his wife. And but that's a whole different story. If I was to just judge the man as boxing credentials, that's what you have to do when you're going into that fight. You can't sit there and, oh, he's got 75 Bugatti Veyrons, let's boo him off out of the ring. Okay, fair enough, you boo him off for beating his wife. That's perfectly legitimate if you were doing that. But I highly doubt that's why people are booing him out of the ring. People just... They picked a side, and that side was Manny Pacquiao, and no matter what happened, Mayweather was never going to win that crowd over. He was never going to win them, and that's very disappointing to me. I feel like it does a disservice to boxing, and I feel those fans that went there aren't really fans, and that's the main problem with boxing today. Proper real fight fans can't see a fight like that because it's just dominated by the 1% that want to go and watch the fight. Now, there was people, I'd say fans there, but the majority couldn't get tickets. Like, it's a shame, and like to see him getting booed out the ring based solely alone on his boxing credentials, it's disappointing. But yeah, as I said, the fight, I'm very disappointed with the fight as a whole. Mayweather, I knew Mayweather was going to win, but I didn't know he was going to win that easily. I didn't know he was going to win with that amount of ease. I didn't. I thought Pacquiao was going to put up a fight, and I thought he was going to do something, but he didn't. He couldn't touch him, and that's just the way it went, I suppose. But Mayweather now won't be beaten. No one will beat Mayweather. He will go 50-0. He's a great fighter, the second best fighter, as I said, of all time. On the personal level, it's a whole different story. But I don't want to go into personal stuff on this podcast. I like to keep it to sports news and news. Very rarely will go into someone's personal life on this and discuss what they do outside of the ring or outside of the pitch, because I feel it's irrelevant when we're talking about a fight as big as this, as big as Mayweather Pacquiao. I think all personal things should be brushed aside, no matter how serious they are, because we should solely focus on the fight. And this was a very disappointing fight. I was expecting Pacquiao. I was very disappointed with Pacquiao. Mayweather came out. He did exactly what I thought he would do. So yeah, that's Mayweather Pacquiao. Chelsea in football have won the league. They've won the league in style. They beat Palace there on the weekend, and they are now crowned Premier League champions. That's very disappointing to me, as I'm an Arsenal fan. But no, I'd be happy enough with second place in the FA Cup. That would be a good season, I think. Obviously, we want to win the league every year, and things are starting to look up now for the Gunners, which is great, because finally, after a trophy drought and after everything, all the problems that have happened, we finally see a turnaround. And I'm so happy that we're finishing the season second, and I'm happy that we are probably going to win the FA Cup. But I wouldn't write off Aston Villa. Benteke is finding his shooting boots now. He's coming on to form, so I wouldn't put it past them that they might do a little shock. If we get second place and win the FA Cup, that would be a perfect season for me. I'll be happy with that. So that's basically all I really wanted to talk about today, was the boxing, because it really did just kind of mess with me. Like, I was expecting a better fight, and I was expecting a brilliant fight, but we didn't get that. We got Mayweather just being completely dominant throughout, and Pacquiao being very disappointed in my opinion. So yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about today. Thank you for listening. I'll try and get another show out by the end of this week, maybe 2, but they will be coming maybe 1, 2 or 3 every week. That's what my plan is. So yeah, thanks for listening to the show. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Shane Carter. You've been listening to the Shane Carter Show, and I will leave you now with War Pigs by Black Sabbath. Enjoy.